Hi folks, Darren from We Paint Minis here. In this video I'm going to show you how I painted Necrons as if they were plucked from the Tron universe. A Nectron, if you will. I'll see myself out. Never be afraid to try something different with your paint schemes. I love the whole process of coming up with new ones. This scheme isn't overly unique, but I thought with Indomitus coming out soon, why not jump on the bandwagon and paint some Necrons? This is going to be a super quick video as I only really used 5 paints if you don't include the priming. Could be 6 paints, let's be 6 paints, probably 6 paints, because I'll use the prime paint again later on, but anyway we'll get to that. First things first, grab some LEADBELCHER spray or paint and prime the model. You can of course prime it grey, black or white first and then paint LEADBELCHER over the top. But in this instance I tried to cut out that middleman and paint straight onto the plastic. Yes, I'm a heathen, I know. Next I grabbed some black TEMPLAR contrast paint and applied it all over the areas of the model I didn't want to be the glowy light bits, on the weird Tron looking things. On this model I left the wiring going into the Immortal's spine, the tubing and the bayonet on the Gauss blaster? Whatever, I left those bits silver rather than paint the black. If you do get a little bit on these areas, it's not too much of a big issue, we can tidy up later on. I specifically chose to use a contrast paint over LEADBELCHER because it tints the metallic paint while still leaving it metallic in nature. In hindsight, it probably would have been a better idea to use something like Stormhose Silver as it's much lighter in colour. I did something similar on a recent Stormcast video, I will post it up in the top right hand corner now. I then took some CORAX white and blocked in all the areas that I wanted to paint my main focal colour. In this case I chose green. I find it's a good idea to go with white rather than the colour straight away as it intensifies your chosen colour. It's also a lot easier to paint over white if you make any mistakes. Talking of mistakes, this is one I had. I initially used Vallejo's model colour fluorescent green. It's an awesome colour but not quite what I was looking for once I'd applied it. So I decided to change it midway through and I approached it in a more traditional way of applying layers. I started off with WARPSTONE Glow as a base on the piping, wiring, the bayonet and any other areas I wanted to be green in colour. Mainly the eyes, the vents on the chest plate and the pattern on the Gauss Blaster coils. We're going to call it Gauss Blaster from now on folks. Just letting it out there. I then repeated this process with MOOT green, ensuring that I left the warpstone glow showing in recessed areas. For the bayonet, I glazed the MOOT green on roughly 2/3 of the blade, ensuring I finished my last stroke towards the sharpest point of the blade. You do not know how much I tried to refrain from saying tip. Oh damn it, I said it, didn't I? For the eyes, vents and the gauze blaster coils, I watered down the MOOT green and let it seep off my brush and sink into the areas like a wash. This ensured that the colour was not 100% opaque, allowing for some sort of transparency between the layers. The final layer was using YRIEL yellow. That's a mouthful, isn't it? This is again applied very similarly to the MOOT green, ensuring I kept the previous two colours visible by applying it on the most raised areas. I approached the bayonet and the vents the same way as the previous step. With the eyes, however, I did a small dot on the front of them to finish them off. You could take this part one step further by applying a final highlight of pure white, but I didn't think it was needed personally. Next up is the edge highlighting. Some find it laborious, and with good reason, but I find it sadistically relaxing. What techniques do you find time consuming and boring? What other ones do you find fun and relaxing? Let me know in the comments below. With Warpstone Glow once again, I added a thickish edge highlight on all the armour panels. I highlighted a lot. I did the head, shoulder pads, the chest, the forearms, the upper arms, thighs, calves/shins and feet. I left all the areas that looked like moving parts, like joints and pistons, black, as I was going to separate the panels up a bit by adding some metallics. I'll get to that bit shortly. Then with MOOT green, I applied a thinner highlight on all the areas I just did in Warpstone Glow. For speed, don't worry about painting the areas the light will not hit, and especially on the areas people won't see. It's hard not to sometimes, but worth your sanity alone. Trust me. The last highlight is with the YRIEL yellow once more, but this time I applied it on the corners of the armour. Basically anywhere there is a right angle or a sharp point. I went around the entire miniature picking these areas out. I think it adds a nice final detail, but it can be easily missed if you don't fancy doing it. The last step was to come back in with LEADBELCHER and do a very simple overbrush of the joints, the pistons, the spinal column on the back and any piping I wanted to be metallic. The reason I chose to overbrush these areas was that I wanted to maintain the illusion of depth by utilising the black Templar we had already applied, and in all honesty for speed. A cheeky quick way to get an effect of depth for very little effort. I then did a simple edge highlight on the Gorse Blaster casing, followed by some stippling to give the impression of wear and tear. I did do this on the black armour plating initially, but I felt it took away from the clean, sleek look. It worked on the weapon however, as it almost makes it stand out against the Necron's body. And there we have it folks, a Necron Immortal painted as if Jeff Bridges had designed it himself, with a little 40k twist of course. Painting your own colour schemes can be extremely rewarding and sometimes daunting, but I wholeheartedly recommend giving it a go. I hope you found this tutorial useful, or if nothing else, a little bit of fun. I'm thinking of painting some more of these up in the same scheme and building a kill team. I have some awesome ideas for the Necron warriors that come in the Indomitus box set. Kit bashed flayed ones, did I hear you say? Yeah, it's interesting. Are you getting the new 40k box set? If so, what are your plans with all the models in there? Let me know in the comments below. All that is left for me to do is say thank you to each and every one of you for watching. It really does mean a lot. Thank you once again, and don't forget to like, subscribe and click that bell to never miss a video. Goodbye.